All right, last section of chapter 8 is one more trigonometry in 8.4b. And this time we're doing what is called inverse trigonometric ratios, this thing right here. Okay? So what I'm going to do is, I'm not even going to go over this chart, it's kind of confusing, but we're basically going to do an inverse, which is a way to do the problem backwards. Okay. So, find x. So we're going to start with x like we always do, or our angle, and we're going to label our sides. So, ka, toa. All right, so we're going to start with x. We're going to label our sides. This is opposite, and this is hypotenuse. What's O and H? It is sine. So the sine of x equals the opposite, which is 6, divided by 18, which is the hypotenuse. Now, how do I get sine to the other side? Okay, I can rewrite this, if I'm trying to find x, as sine to the negative 1, or inverse sine of 6 over 18. On your calculator, you're going to have a second function, and then you're going to hit the sine button. It's going to look like this. There's going to be a sine to the negative 1 over it. Or, on Google calculator, you're going to hit this button, and then you're going to see the sine to the negative 1 button. And then you're going to do 6 divided by 18. And you will get 19.4. On the screen, once you hit inverse sine of negative 1, it's going to say arc sine. Don't worry about that. And then at parentheses, you just literally type in 6 divided by 18 and find your answer. So 19.4 degrees, that's our angle. All right, let's find another angle. Okay? So, don't forget soka toa. Circle the angle. This is the hypotenuse. It's opposite 90. This is adjacent. It's going to be cosine. Cosine of x equals 12 over 15. X will then equal inverse cosine to the negative 1, times 12 over 15. So I type that in my calculator like I showed you guys, or like I told you, and I'm going to get 36.87 degrees. So if you get a number between 1 and 180, that's what you're looking for angles, right? Sorry. It's going to have to be a number from like 1 to 89. If you don't get a number between 1 and 89, it's not right. Okay, let's do this one here. Circle our angle, label our sides, opposite and adjacent, which means we're going to use tangent. Tangent of x equals 19 over 22. X equals the inverse tangent, or tangent negative 1, times 19 over 22. So, type that in your calculator. I'm typing in mine right now, and I'm going to get 40.8 degrees. Okay, now we can find all the missing sides and angles of a triangle. Okay, so I can find this side by Pythagorean theorem. I'm not going to do all the math for you, but that's going to come out to 12. I can use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, now to find the angle. If I want to find f, okay, I have my opposite and my hypotenuse. So, ka, toa. So it's going to be the sine of f equals 5 over 13. F will equal the inverse sine of 5 over 13. All right, and I can do the same. Once I find this angle, I'm going to show you the shortcut. I'm going to find this angle, inverse sine of 5 over 13. I'm going to get 22.6. And then to find my other angle, to find G, I just do 90 minus 22.6. And I get 67.4. So I found my two missing angles, and I found my missing side. You would do the same thing on all of these, okay? So we might practice these more in class together. But if you get an angle and a side, you can find all three sides. Okay? If you're given one angle, let's just do this one. Let's do one more. I already know this is going to be 28. How do I know that? 90 minus 62. But now I got to find A and B. Okay? Let's find A first. Okay? Let's use 28. If I use 28 with A, that's going to be adjacent. Do I know opposite? I can't have two unknowns, so I'm going to use my hypotenuse. So then I would do cosine of 28 equals A over 10. And then what I can do is I could use this, but I would have to use these two together. And so I could find the sine of 28 equals B over 10. I could also use 62 and find my sides. So either way, there's lots of different methods for finding all of these sides and angles.